Week 27. Day 183, on shocking your body. Your body needs to be shocked to become resilient, Eric explained. Follow the same daily routine, and your musculoskeletal system quickly figures out how to adapt and go on autopilot. But surprise it with new challenges: leap over a creek, commando crawl under a log, sprint till your lungs are bursting, and scores of nerves and ancillary muscles are suddenly electrified into action. Christopher McDougall. One of the most common reasons why people don't succeed at introducing a permanent exercise habit in their lives is because their workouts are boring. They do the same things over and over again, and even if they work in the beginning, the body quickly adapts to them and stops responding to them in the same way as in the beginning. When the effectiveness drops down and a person gets tired of doing the same things, the outcome is predictable: you no longer want to work out anymore. That's why I'm so strongly against any kind of structured fitness classes at the gym that you attend, because you think it's the only way to exercise. Seek something enjoyable and exciting that won't feel like dreadful exercise. If you can't find it, keep looking until you do. Ultimately, it's the only way to successfully maintain an exercise habit in your life. However, please note that even if you're doing something exciting, no matter how fantastic it is in the beginning, if you don't change your routine every now and then, it also might get boring. Mixing it up every now and then by focusing on a different aspect of the activity, doing it in a different place, with different intensity or with different people will boost your excitement, shock your body, and ensure that you'll stick to physical activity for the long haul. Day 184, on creating value. Vow: I will create value for society, rather than extract it. John C. Bogle. In today's world of consumerism, it's easy to extract value without creating much yourself. Millions of office workers all over the world pretend they're hard at work, while on their screens you can see solitaire, social media sites, memes, or any other distraction that helps them to pass time until they can go home. Instead of supporting somebody else's efforts or creating something themselves, millions of people pass time by hating the things that were created by others. For example, watch pretty much any video on YouTube and you're guaranteed to see critical, if not blatantly hate-filled, comments, no matter how high the quality of the content and presentation is. Look at other comments that were posted by the same people, and you'll often find that their primary occupation in life is, unconstructively, criticizing the work of others without ever creating anything themselves. Instead of bettering themselves and encouraging others to do the same, millions seek to live their lives in the easiest way possible, even at the expense of their moral principles. Harness the power of self-discipline to create more value than you extract. In addition to making the world a better place, it will serve as a powerful exercise in self-control and transform your mindset to that of a producer, a person who will always be valued in society, regardless of the economy or location. For example, whenever you ask somebody for advice, share the knowledge with 2 or more other people. At work, try to do your best, and if your job doesn't excite you enough to do so, do everybody a favor and find a different job that will let you contribute to the world in a better way. Support other creators instead of criticizing them. Don't always wait for somebody else to take the initiative. Step forward and organize something yourself. Resist the temptation to consume without ever contributing much yourself. The more value you create, the better off everyone is, and the more that eventually comes back to you. Day 185, on staying with problems longer. Students who were forced to struggle on complex problems before receiving help from teachers outperformed students who received immediate assistance. Brad Stulberg and Steve Magnus. Here's a simple mindset change that can help you improve your problem-solving skills and make you more persistent. Whenever you face a problem, stay with it for a good while before you ask anyone for help. If you're immediately seeking outside help the instant you find you can't deal with something, you're robbing yourself out of the opportunity to struggle and figure it out yourself. Obviously, this doesn't apply to life or death situations. I don't want you to spend a little while longer trying to figure out how to help a victim of a car accident. Call the ambulance right away. Practice staying with problems longer only when it's safe and sensible to do so. For example, if something is not working properly on your computer, before you call for IT help, seek answers yourself and only get help if you've tried several possible solutions and nothing has worked. If you're learning a new skill and can't figure out how to do something, try to deconstruct it, piece by piece. If you still can't figure it out, seek assistance from your teacher. By rejecting the impulse to ask for help right away, you'll also practice your self-control. The downside is wasting a few minutes on a problem you can't solve. The upside is developing more trust in your own abilities, becoming more patient, and learning something new. Day 186, on Simple Rules. Simple rules are shortcut strategies that save time and effort by focusing our attention and simplifying the way we process information. The rules aren't universal, they're tailored to the particular situation and the person using them. Donald Saul. I'm a big fan of using rules to simplify my life. In today's world, we have too many choices to make. Many of those choices are trivial, but because we don't want to miss out, we waste precious time deciding where we want to go for dinner, whether we want to drink blueberry, raspberry, strawberry, or blackberry juice, and then waste even more time choosing a meal we want to eat. And that's just one common situation in a sea of choices. Which brand of bread to eat? Which fitness regimen to follow? Where to go for a vacation? Which book to read? The choices are endless, and they're all sucking energy that you could spend on something more constructive and useful. Embrace some simple rules in your life to pare down your choices to the bare minimum. For example, I have a simple rule when it comes to traveling: I never travel to cold places. If it's less than 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 to 20 degrees Celsius, I'm not going. This greatly limits my choices. I know that the weather will be relatively good, and I get to spend more time planning the actual trip rather than choosing the destination. Another example, more from the realm of personal development, is my rule of never giving up on anything that's important to me. Having established that something is important to me, I don't give up. I can't break my rule, so I'll stick to a goal for as long as necessary or until it stops being important to me. My other rules include things like not taking group classes. I find it to be an extremely ineffective way of learning when the attention of the teacher is spread out over several students or more. Rejecting interviews and social media. I'd rather spend my time by writing a new book, and always choosing solutions that minimize my time investment, even if they're financially more expensive, such as choosing more expensive airport parking to be closer to the terminal or buying more expensive products to reduce the risk of them breaking down. What are your rules? Think of some common decisions you often have to make, including the important choices related to your goals, and think of simple rules you could establish to simplify your life and your decision-making process. Day 187, on not judging too quickly. Realize that other people think their behavior is more responsive to situational factors than you're inclined to think, and they're more likely to be right than you are. They almost certainly know their current situation, and their relevant personal history, better than you do. Richard Nisbett. You can develop your self-control while working on your most important goals, but you can also practice it in everyday situations when judging people, for example. Virtually all of us have done it at least once. You assume you know what's best for another person, while in fact you know nothing about their background or approach to the current situation. Yet you judge. It's hard to resist this temptation. After all, we look at the world through our own filters and consider them suitable for everything and everyone. Whenever you catch yourself judging someone harshly, pause and ask yourself if you understand this person's personal history, motives, and current situation. A driver who honked at you might have been a jerk, but he might also have just been diagnosed with cancer, late to an important meeting, or driving to the hospital to visit a relative. An overweight person might be lazy, but he or she might also struggle with difficult family issues, health disorders, or be battling against depression. You never know the entire picture, so the best approach is to refrain from judging. You'll improve your people skills and at the same time you'll be practicing your self-control. Day 188, on Pride. All men make mistakes, but a good man yields when he knows his course is wrong, and repairs the evil. The only crime is pride. Sophocles. Pride has a positive connotation. You're proud of your achievements, proud of your children, or proud of your country. However, pride often serves as an excuse to stick to the wrong path or deny responsibility for your wrongdoings. It's also dangerous when it converts to egotism, a state leading to complacency and overestimating your abilities. Embrace a healthy approach toward accomplishment, appreciate your successes, but don't put pride on the pedestal and discontinue further efforts just because somebody acknowledged your triumphs. I sometimes receive emails from my readers telling me that my books have changed their lives. I'm happy to hear that they've found my work valuable, but, as strange as it may sound, I refuse to feel proud of my books. My books might have been the spark, but it's the readers' efforts that have helped them change their lives. If I were to convince myself that my books are so incredible, I would have probably become complacent or let the success go to my head. Another aspect of pride is stubbornly following the wrong path. A common demonstration of this behavior is particularly common among men. When they get lost, they'll put off asking somebody for directions for as long as they can, while they continue their journey in the wrong direction. Instead of acknowledging the mistake, swallowing their pride, and asking for help, they waste time and energy just because they're too prideful. If you recognize such a behavior in yourself, vow to never again let pride make you overinvest in the wrong endeavors. The moment you realize you're following the wrong path, stop. Go back to the drawing board, prepare new plans and start again. In the grand scheme of things, your pride is of small importance when compared to achieving your large long-term goals. Day 189, on adventures. So many people live within unhappy circumstances and yet will not take the initiative to change their situation because they are conditioned to a life of security, conformity, and conservatism, all of which may appear to give one peace of mind, but in reality nothing is more dangerous to the adventurous spirit within a man than a secure future. The very basic core of a man's living spirit is his passion for adventure. The joy of life comes from our encounters with new experiences, and hence there is no greater joy than to have an endlessly changing horizon, for each day to have a new and different sun. Jon Krakauer. Boredom is dangerous not only because it's unpleasant, but also because it usually means having the worst kind of security in life, complacency. It's good to feel satisfied with what you have, but the moment you get stuck in a rut, afraid that any change will ruin the security you now enjoy, you lose the opportunity for immense joy and personal growth. Adventures spice up life. Without new experiences, life is boring and there's little growth to be attained. When you're bored, you're less likely to feel inspired to make changes in life, so it leads to a downward spiral. Embark on new adventures as often as you can. Traveling always means encounters with new experiences, but you don't necessarily have to leave your hometown every week to live an adventurous life. Learning new interesting skills can be an adventure in itself. Hiking to a nearby wilderness area or spending the night in a tent outdoors can get you out of a rut, too. Lastly, to actually be considered adventures, they are usually at least slightly uncomfortable or dangerous, and that also means an opportunity to practice self-discipline and toughen up. Plan your next adventure now.